Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Every week, as Friday dawns, millions of Muslims around the world turn to the 18th chapter of the Holy Qur'an, a chapter known as Surah Al-Kahf, the chapter of the cave. But why this chapter? Why is its recitation on Friday so profoundly recommended by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He said it would be a light, an illumination from one Friday to the next. The answer lies in its structure. Surah Al-Kahf is not just a chapter, it is a divine map, a guide through the greatest trials a human being can face in this life. It tells 4 powerful stories, each one a lesson, a warning, and a source of immense hope. These are the trials of faith, of wealth, of knowledge, and of power. And in understanding these stories, we find the tools to navigate our own complex world and protect ourselves from the ultimate trial, the deception of the Dajjal, the Antichrist. Today, we journey into the heart of the cave to seek that divine light.
If you are ready to explore these profound lessons from the Qur'an with us, consider subscribing and joining our community so you don't miss future explorations into this sacred text.
Our journey begins in a city shrouded in disbelief, ruled by a tyrant who demanded worship for himself. In this darkness, a small group of young men held firmly to a radical truth, that there is only one God, the Lord of the heavens and the earth. They were noble youths, yet their faith made them outcasts. Faced with an impossible choice, renounce their faith or face death, they chose a third path, a path of complete trust in their Lord. They said, "Our Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. Never will we invoke besides him any deity." With this prayer on their lips, they abandoned everything they knew and sought refuge in the most desolate of places, a cave. They did not have a grand plan, they simply trusted. They entered the cave, and with a final prayer for mercy and guidance, they fell into a deep sleep. But this was no ordinary sleep. This was a miracle. Allah protected them, turning them from side to side, shielding them from the sun's rays. Time itself dissolved. Days turned into weeks, weeks into years, and years into centuries. 309 years passed, and the world outside changed beyond recognition. When they finally awoke, they believed only a day had passed. They sent one of their own with a silver coin to buy food, only for him to discover that his coin was an ancient relic, and his faith was now the faith of the entire land. Their story became a sign for all people, a powerful proof of the resurrection and Allah's absolute power over time and creation. The lesson: when your faith is tested, true refuge is not in a physical place, but in turning completely to Allah. He will provide a way out you could never imagine. This is the shield against the trial of faith. The surah then presents us with a parable, a story of 2 men. One was blessed by Allah with immense wealth, symbolized by 2 magnificent gardens that produced endlessly. But his wealth became his trial. He grew arrogant. Walking through his paradise on earth, he told his companion, "I am greater than you in wealth and mightier in manpower." He began to believe his success was from his own effort. He even started to doubt the afterlife, saying, "I do not think this will ever perish, and I do not think the hour is coming." His faithful companion gently warned him. He reminded him to say, "Masha Allah, la quwwata illa billah." What Allah has willed has come to be. There is no power except with Allah. He reminded him that the same God who gave him this wealth could just as easily take it away. But the wealthy man was blinded by his possessions. His garden was his world, and he could not see beyond it. And so, a calamity struck from the heavens. Overnight, his paradise was turned into a wasteland. In a single moment, everything he took pride in was gone. Only then, in his utter ruin, did he realize his mistake. He was left with nothing but regret, wishing he had never associated partners with his Lord. The lesson is a timeless warning. Wealth is a test. It can lead to arrogance and forgetfulness of the giver. The protection against this trial is gratitude, humility, and recognizing that all blessings are from Allah alone.
The first two stories teach us how to guard our hearts against the trials of faith and the allure of wealth. The surah now moves to two even more subtle and dangerous trials, the trial of knowledge and the trial of power. This is a truly astonishing story. Prophet Musa alayhi salam, one of the greatest messengers of God who spoke directly to Allah, was once asked, "Who is the most knowledgeable person on earth?" He replied, "I am." Allah then revealed to him that there was a servant of his named Al-Khidr who possessed a special kind of knowledge, a wisdom of the unseen, that Prophet Musa alayhi salam did not have. Humbled, Prophet Musa alayhi salam embarked on a journey to learn from him. Prophet Musa alayhi salam finds Al-Khidr and asks to follow him. Al-Khidr agrees, but on one condition. Prophet Musa alayhi salam must not ask about anything until Al-Khidr himself explains it. Prophet Musa alayhi salam agrees, but his patience is immediately tested. First, they board a boat belonging to poor fishermen, and Al-Khidr damages it. Prophet Musa alayhi salam, a man of justice, cannot stay silent. "Have you scuttled it to drown its people?" he exclaims. Al-Khidr simply reminds him of his promise to be patient. Next, they encounter a young boy, and Al-Khidr takes his life. This is too much for Prophet Musa alayhi salam. "Have you killed an innocent soul?" he cries out, convinced a great wrong has been committed. Again, Al-Khidr reminds him of his promise to be patient. Finally, they reach a town that refuses them food and shelter. Yet Al-Khidr stops to repair a collapsing wall without asking for any wage. Musa alayhi salam questions him one last time, and Al-Khidr declares that their journey together is over. But first, he reveals the wisdom behind his baffling actions. The boat was damaged to save it from a tyrant king who was seizing all good boats by force. The boy was destined to grow into a rebellious disbeliever who would bring immense grief to his righteous parents, so Allah willed to replace him with a better child. And the wall belonged to two young orphans with a treasure buried beneath it. By repairing the wall, Al-Khidr protected their inheritance until they came of age. The lesson is profound. True knowledge is admitting how little we know. There is a divine wisdom at play that our limited human intellect cannot always grasp. The shield against the trial of knowledge is humility and patience with the decree of Allah. The final story is about the trial of power. It is the story of Dhul-Qarnayn, a mighty and righteous ruler whom Allah gave power and authority over the earth. But unlike so many others, his power did not corrupt him. It was a tool for justice. He traveled to the far reaches of the earth. In the west, where the sun sets, he found a people and ruled over them with justice. In the east, where the sun rises, he dealt fairly with a people who had little shelter.
His greatest test came when he found a people who lived in terror of two destructive tribes known as Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog. They begged him, "Will you build a barrier between us and them?" Here, a corrupt ruler would have demanded tribute, exploited them. But Dhul-Qarnayn's response was a model of righteous leadership. He said, "That in which my Lord has established me is better. So help me with strength, and I will make between you a barrier." He refused payment and instead mobilized their own strength, guiding them to build a mighty wall of iron and molten copper, sealing the oppressors away until a time decreed by Allah. And when this incredible feat was complete, he did not take credit. He said, "This is a mercy from my Lord." The lesson is clear. Power is the ultimate test of character. The protection against its corruption is to use it for justice, to serve others, and to always attribute success to Allah, the true source of all power. Faith, wealth, knowledge, power. 4 trials, 4 stories, 4 pillars of guidance. If you have found benefit in this journey through Surah Al-Kahf, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue to bring these timeless lessons to light. The people of the cave teach us to hold on to our faith with sincere companionship. The man of the gardens teaches us to be grateful for our wealth. The journey of Musa teaches us to be humble in our knowledge, and Dhul-Qarnayn teaches us to be just with our power. Surah Al-Kahf is a weekly reminder that this life is a series of tests, but for every test, Allah has given us a shield. By reading, pondering, and internalizing these stories, we arm ourselves. And this, the Prophet taught us, is our greatest protection against the deceptions of the Dajjal, who will come tempting humanity with these very same trials, offering food to the hungry, apparent knowledge of the unseen, and wielding immense power. So when we read this chapter every Friday, we are not just reciting words. We are turning on a light, a divine light to expose falsehood, to illuminate our path, and to guide our hearts safely through the darkness of our times back to our ultimate refuge, our Lord.